Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Gauranithai Jai Gauranithai Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Haribol Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivraj Kachari Stotra Sadarshi Srimad Divine Grace Lavai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai The Most Merciful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Shri Shri Gaunita Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nithai Gaura Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama-sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29, entitled Talks Between Narada and King Prachina Barhi. Text number 3. Yo vijinata hrutastasya Yo vijinata hrutastasya Purushasya sakheshvaraha Purusasya sakheshvaraha Yanna विज्ञायते पुंभि यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभि नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः यो विजिनात हृतस्तस्य पुरुषस्य सखेश्वरः यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभि नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः यो विजिनात हृतस्तस्य पुरुषस्य सखेश्वरः यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभि नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः यो विज्ञात हृतस्तस्य पुरुषस्य सखेश्वरः यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभिर् नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः यो विज्ञात हृतस्तस्य पुरुषस्य सखेश्वरः यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभिर् नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः. Any Matajis? यो विज्ञात हृतस्तस्य पुरुषस्य सखेश्वरः यन्न विज्ञायते पुंभिर् नामभिर्वा क्रिया गुणैः. यह he who अविज्ञात unknown आहृतः described tasya of him purushasya of the living entity sakha the eternal friend ishvaraha the master yat because na never vijnayate is understood pumbhihi by the living entities namabhihi by names va or kriya gunaihi by activities or qualities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the person I have described as unknown is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master and eternal friend of the living entity. Since the living entities cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by material names, activities, or qualities, he remains everlastingly unknown to the conditioned soul. Please repeat. The person I have described as unknown is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master and eternal friend of the living entity. Since the living entities cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by material names, activities, or qualities, he remains everlastingly unknown to the conditioned soul. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unknown to the conditioned soul, he is sometimes described in Vedic literature as Nirakara, Avijñata, or Avan Manasa Gocharaha. Actually, it is a fact that the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be perceived by material senses as far as his form, name, quality, pastimes, or paraphernalia are concerned. However, when one is spiritually advanced, one can understand the name, form, qualities, pastimes, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschashmitatvataha. One can understand in truth the Supreme Personality of Godhead only when one is engaged in devotional service. Ordinary persons engaged in pious and impious activities cannot understand the form, name, and activities of the Lord. The devotee, however, can know the personality of Godhead in many respects. He can understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, that his address is Goloka Vrindavan, and that his activities are all spiritual. Because the Lord's form and activities cannot be understood by materialistic people, he is described by the Shastras as Nirakara, that is, one whose form cannot be ascertained by a materialistic person. This does not mean that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no form. It means that it is not understood by the karmis or fruitive actors. His form is described in Brahma Samhita as Satchidananda Vigraha, as confirmed by the Padma Purana. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahyamindriyaihi Sevonmuko hi Jivadav Swayameva Spuradyataha. No one can understand Krishna as he is by utilizing the blunt material senses. However, the Lord reveals himself to his devotees, being pleased with them because of the transcendental loving service rendered unto him. Since the name, form, qualities, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, cannot be understood by the material senses, he is also called Adhokshaja, meaning beyond sense perception. When the senses are purified by devotional activity, the devotee understands everything about the Lord by the Lord's grace. In this verse, the words Pumbhir, Namabhir, Va Kriya Gunaihi are especially significant because God Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has many names, activities, and qualities, although none of them are material. Despite the fact that all these names, activities, and pastimes are mentioned in the Shastras and understood by the devotees, the karmis, fruitive laborers, cannot understand them, nor can the jnanis, mental speculators, understand them. Although there are thousands of names of Lord Vishnu, the karmis and jnanis intermingle the names of the Supreme Godhead with the names of demigods and human beings because they cannot understand the actual name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take for granted that any name can be accepted. They believe that since the absolute truth is impersonal, they can call him by any name. Otherwise, they maintain he has no name. This is not a fact. Here it is clearly stated, Namabhirva Kriya Gunaihi. The Lord has specific names such as Rama, Krishna, Govinda, Narayana, Vishnu, and Adhokshaja. There are indeed many names, but the conditioned soul cannot understand them. Om Jnanatimantasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam. So in essence, what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say is that You cannot understand Krishna by your own endeavor, by our senses and through sense perception. Generally, when we are hale and healthy, we tend to think that everything is fine, nice. I can do anything, I can understand anything, I can achieve anything. When somebody is young and all his limbs are functioning properly, then they tend to think like that. But either because of old age or because of some other disease, if the body doesn't function, then they realize that I am not able to function by my own will. Some other will is behind me, which is enabling me to function. And that is the supreme will of the Lord. So you're able to lift your hand not by your own will. You're able to lift your hand by the will of the Lord combined with your will. It's not that God will lift your hand. He will lift your hand if you desire so. So both wills are combined here. You will, and Krishna actually wills to lift your hand. So this is how all our senses, all our bodily, limbs are functioning by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whether they are, uh, jnanendriyas or karmendriyas or mind or intelligence or whatever it is, everything is functioning by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And modern education is antithesis to this kind of an understanding. In the modern education, we are pumped up by saying that you can do anything. Just do it. You can do anything. You can do about anything. Just desire, you can do it. You cannot do. You cannot do by your own desire, by your own will. You cannot do. You need the assistance and the mercy of the Supreme Lord to do anything. Because to understand anything, to perceive anything, we need God's mercy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanancha. He is sitting in our hearts. Sarvasya Chaham Hrudisanne Vishto Mattar Smritir Jnanam Apohanancha. Krishna is there in our heart as Paramatma. Because of his presence, we are able to ascertain anything. To whatever extent that we are ascertaining, to whatever extent that we are able to know, it's only because of Krishna's presence. It's not by our ability. And that is very clearly established in Bhagavatam when Arjuna, after coming from Prabhasa Kshetra, where all the Yadavas killed each other and all of them actually went back to Godhead. So he was returning. So when he was returning from Prabhas Kshetra, some of the cowherds came and attacked Arjuna, and they took away the queens of the Lord. Lord has handed over the queens to Arjuna. You take care of them because Lord has left. Krishna left. So Arjuna, he is called Mahabaho, the one who has strong arms. Parantapa, one who can destroy enemies. Just like that. He's such a Maharadi, Arjuna, but he could not do anything. He was defeated by these cowherds. They took away, they snatched away the queens of Krishna, and he was helpless completely. So then he realized, oh, the power which I exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra is not my power. This power was given to me by Krishna for a certain purpose. And now that is not required for me. So he has taken away that power. So if it is true for Arjuna, it is true for each one of us. Our ability to think, our ability to interact with each other, our ability to do different activities, they're all given by Krishna. The ability is given by Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Balavat Balavatam Asmi. I am the ability of a man. is what Krishna says. So whatever ability that we have, thinking that it is my ability, it's not actually my ability. It is Krishna has given that ability for some time for a particular purpose. And that purpose is to serve Krishna. That's all. There is no other purpose. I am given an ability and I misuse that ability for sense gratification, that ability will be withdrawn. That is the only purpose for which Krishna has given that ability. So, actually, this ability is given so that we can understand Krishna. We are trying to understand so many physical laws, chemical laws, so many of these things we are able to understand, but we are not utilizing that power Krishna, which Krishna has given to us to understand Krishna. Very, very complex equations in the mathematics you are able to understand. Don't think that you are able to understand by your own will. Even to understand that also Krishna is giving you mercy. But you are misusing that mercy, not utilizing that mercy for understanding Krishna, but to understand all the other so many useless things. In one sense, for the ultimate goal of life, all these abilities that we exhibit in this world is useless. If you become a very big professor, what is the use? What will you become after that? After that, you have to become old, you have to lose your memory. Then what about your qualification of being a big, great professor, being able to teach many things, being able to understand many things? All of that is gone once we leave the body. Or all that has to happen is Krishna has to remove that smriti. Finished. If he removes your remembrance, you will be completely dead. People, when they get into coma, or sometimes, when they lose their memory, they'll keep looking at their very dear ones. Once upon a time, they were embracing each other with great affection, tears coming from their eyes. But the same people, when they look at, they have no emotion at all. Is it their ability to, see or, reciprocate with others? That's not their ability. It is Krishna who is giving this. And this simple thing we are not able to understand. We are very proud that, I have my power, I can do anything. Just because 10 times I'm able to, shake the hand like this, 11th time I think that I can shake the hand 11th time. Maybe Krishna will, retract that power to shake your hand at the 11th time. What will you do? What difference does it make? Whether it is 11th time or 11,000 time? It doesn't matter. Same thing it is. You never had that ability in the first place. So that is what Krishna is saying. That is what, in this verse Prabhupada is saying. Ata Sri Krishna namadi nabhaved grahyam indriyai sevonmuko hi jivado swayameva spuradyataha. Unless Krishna gives you ability, you will not be able to understand Krishna. Don't think that Krishna is one of the material goals that you have set for yourself and you can achieve that goal by, channelizing your energies in a specific manner and you can reach that goal. Krishna is not one such goal. It requires Krishna's mercy for you to understand Krishna. So that is why it is said, one of the quality of the Lord is achintya. Achintya means inconceivable. Inconceivable means whichever way you try to understand Krishna, you cannot understand. If Krishna so desires not to be understood by you, you cannot. But you may be blind, you may be dumb, you may be anything, none of your indriyas are functioning. But if Krishna so desires that he wants you to understand, you will be able to understand. And there was an example. The example was Lord Chaitanya, when he went to Sri Rangam, he saw one Brahmana sitting under a tree and he was holding Bhagavad Gita. He was trying to read Bhagavad Gita and he was an illiterate. He never learned the letters. So in fact, it was said that he was actually holding Bhagavad Gita upside down. But tears were flowing from his eyes constantly. So Lord Chaitanya was very curious. He went to that man, to the Brahmana, and said, "Sir, what makes you, cry like this when you're holding Bhagavad Gita?" While so many other children and others, they were, they were passing by and they were making comments. Just see, he's making a show of reading Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't even know how to hold Bhagavad Gita because he's holding it upside down. So this man, this Brahmana, told Lord Chaitanya, Sir, I am an illiterate, but my Guru Maharaj told me to read Bhagavad Gita every day. So I am holding this Bhagavad Gita and I am trying to read every day, and on every page I see one wonderful, beautiful picture of Krishna driving chariot for Arjuna. And when I think of it, tears come from my eyes incessantly without my knowledge. Because the great Supreme Lord Krishna, who is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he becomes a driver of his devotee. He takes such an insignificant position that he can be controlled by his devotee. So when I think of how much Lord can come to assist his devotees, tears flow from my eyes. So then Lord Chaitanya said, many people read Bhagavad Gita, but they don't understand anything. But you are the perfect, you have understood Bhagavad Gita perfectly because you are able to see that picture on every page of Bhagavad Gita. So what makes this Brahmana understood Bhagavad Gita so perfectly as confirmed by Lord Chaitanya? It's not by he doesn't have any ability. Linguistic ability he doesn't have. None of these abilities he has, but he has gained the mercy of the Lord by following his spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasada nagotiktopi. So this is our ability is to please the Lord. Lord has given us the ability to please. He has not taken it away from us. Whether your body is functioning, limbs are functioning, mind is functioning, any of these things are functioning or not functioning, the ability to please the Lord is given to us. That is our right. God has given to us, not because we earn it, but God has given to us. So if we utilize that ability to please Him all the time and not to please Him, not to displease Him, endeavor not to displease Him, then that is the perfection of life. So, some people think that, by my super intelligence, I can understand scriptures. So, some people, that is why they don't even touch Mahabharat, Bhagavat, Ramayana. You know why? That is all for less intelligent people, stories. And I know what will I read? Vedanta. Vedanta I will read. Because I am very high class intellectual. So, I will read Vedanta. What Vedanta you can read? You will simply become tired of reading Vedanta and sleep. That's all. You can never understand Vedanta. So this is what Lord Chaitanya told Prakashananda Saraswati. Prakashananda Saraswati, he was ridiculing Lord Chaitanya when Lord Chaitanya was dancing and chanting in the streets of Kasi, Varanasi. So Prakashananda Saraswati said, the sannyasi's business is not this. You are very sentimental. You are chanting and dancing. This is not the business of a sannyasi. Sannyasi should sit at one place and read Vedanta. So Lord Chaitanya's response is, yes sir, you are right. But I am not so intelligent. So that is why my spiritual master told me, just chant Hare Krishna. So I am chanting Hare Krishna. And I am experiencing great happiness and ecstasy. Untamable ecstasy I am experiencing. So I thought maybe I am haunted by ghosts. So I went to my spiritual master and told him, sir, I don't know what kind of mantra you gave me, but I am just, jumping in great happiness. Is this the right thing to do? Then my spiritual master told me, you are perfectly chanting Hare Krishna. That is why you are experiencing this great happiness. In fact, anyone who chants Hare Krishna should experience happiness like this. They are not experiencing because they are not chanting properly. Otherwise, chanting must give this experience. Nayanam gala dashrudharaya vadanam gadgada ruddaya gira pulakair vichita vapuh kada tavanama grahane bhavishyati. That is what is the effect of chanting. So he said, I am feeling very ecstatic and happy by chanting, and I feel that I don't need to read the Vedanta and this and that and that, because the purpose of reading all the Vedanta is to actually become happy. Anandamayo bhyasat. Why do you read Vedanta? To become happy. So then Prakashananda Saraswati and gang, they were thinking, oh, for a long time we have been reading, no ecstasy is coming. This man is, very ecstatic. So inside he got realization. What is the use of reading my Vedanta if I am not able to feel happy? So who gives that happiness? Krishna gives that happiness. Sukhamatram swasukatvam. If you give happiness to Krishna, you become happy. You try to be happy independent of Krishna, you suffer. That's the principle. You are looking at an image of yourself in front of a mirror, and you want some nice decorations to come on the mirror image, then you have to put yourself. You put a cap, the cap will come on the image. You put a nice garland, you'll find that garland in the image. But you can't directly put garland to the image. You can't put a cap to the image. That's not possible. Similarly, how to become happy? Make Krishna happy, you be happy. Don't reverse it. I be happy, Krishna will adjust. Anyway, we have this philosophical speculation. Krishna, you are so adjustable, you are so tolerant, you are so merciful, you are so compassionate. Why don't you adjust your happiness to my happiness? Krishna is not like that. Although Krishna is the Supreme Father, Krishna doesn't give us that kind of imagined happiness. Krishna actually gives us happiness when we try to make him happy. Yatha taror mola nishechanena trupyanti tatskanda bhujopashaka pranapaharocha yatendriyanam sarvapaharano api achyutejyaha. You put the water at the root of a tree, all the branches and twigs and then leaves, everyone will be flourishing nicely. You put at the root. Don't try to put at all those other places. So same way, you try to keep Krishna happy, you get happiness. So if you want to understand Krishna, first beg Krishna, my dear Krishna, I cannot understand you. Kindly enable me to understand you. This is the first request that we have to put forward. Don't go with a 56-inch chest. I can understand you. How will you hide from me? Lake lat maar dega. You can never understand Krishna. So Brahmaji is saying to Krishna, what is that? Sloka, Leshan, Prasada Leshan, Grihita. What is the beginning of the sloka? Athapi te deva padambujadvayam, Athapi te deva padambujadvayam, Prasada Leshan, Grihita evahi, Janati tattvam Bhagavan mahimno, Nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. My dear Krishna, this is Brahmaji, the first living entity, created living entity. He is speaking to Krishna. He is saying, Athapi te deva padambujadvayam. Oh my dear Lord, without the mercy of your two lotus feet, prasada lesa, even a little bit, lesa. Lesha means very little. Prasada leshano grihita evahi, without having a little bit of your mercy, janati tattvam. We cannot understand you. Bhagavan mahimno, your mahima, we cannot understand. Nachanya eko pi chiram vichinvan. Even if we speculate for millions of births, we cannot understand you, my dear Krishna. Same Brahma in Brahma Samhita in another place saying the same thing. What is that sloka? Mantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayo rathapi manaso munipungavaanam sopyasti yat prapadasim avichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The great yogis with their mental power, they travel millions and millions of lifetimes, millions of Hours they go, lifetimes they go. Panthastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayorathapi manaso, with vayuratha, with the speed of the wind, with their mind they speculate, but they can never understand Krishna. Vayorathapi manaso munipungavanam sopyasti yat prapadasim avichintya tatve. Still, avichintya, they cannot understand Krishna. So, you can understand Krishna only when Krishna allows you to understand. So, first of all, we have to beg permission from Krishna to understand Krishna. Then, if Krishna so desires, he will reveal himself to us. I have, some years back, I took my parents to Guruvayur temple in Kerala. So, we had, there was a lot of rush. So, we went into the temple and had darshan. The DT is small DT, not a big, huge like Lord Venkateshwara DT. It's a small DT. So, and also they were not allowing us close to the DT. So, we had to have darshan from little distance. And because my parents are quite old, they felt that they didn't have darshan properly. So, we came out. So, the devotee, whoever has arranged darshan for us, because he was quite respectful and close. So we thought that we may get another opportunity for having darshan. So then we asked, can you please let us in again for darshan? Then he said, darshan ho gaya na. He said. So then we said, darshan nahi hua achhi tarah. Nahi, darshan ho gaya. We got a little, taken aback. We are saying we did not have darshan. He's saying darshan ho gaya. Then he explained, दर्शन का मतलब है भगवान आपको देखना, तुम भगवान को देखना नहीं. What will you see God? With your eyes, what will you see God? He said. Then, he said, Namaskar. We didn't request any further. It's actually true. What can you see God with your eyes? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that when there was an announcement in Koshi that this is the last time that Bhaktisiddhanta is going to give a lecture, those who wanted to hear the lecture, they can come and sit in the lecture, and those who wanted to have darshan of Seshashai Vishnu, they can go and have. So most of the people went for darshan of Seshashai Vishnu. Bhaktisiddhanta didn't like that very much. He said that, what will you have darshan without hearing Krishna, about Krishna? It will be maximum, it will be to the eye exercise, that's all it is. Having darshan of the Lord is simply an eye exercise without hearing properly from a bona fide source. So this indicates very clearly that exactly the same thing is mentioned here. Namabhirva kriya gunaihi. Yanna vijnayate pumbhir namabhirva kriya gunaihi. You cannot understand nama or guna or leela or rupa of the Lord with your own blunt material senses. You have to beg the Lord to give you darshan. It is said that when Krishna was giving his Vishwarupa darshan, when Krishna was giving his Vishwarupa darshan, he was giving to everyone, but everyone could not see. Only those who are specially chosen by Krishna could see. And one of the person who was chosen by Krishna to see his Vishwarupa was Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra had no eyes to see anything. But even though he was blind, but because Krishna gave him the vision to see his Vishwarupa, he could see Vishwarupa. And there are many others who have eyes but could not see Vishwarupa of Krishna. So what does that indicate? You can see when Krishna allows you to see. Even though you may have eyes, you cannot see it. That is why Bhagavatam says, Pashyannapi na pashyati. Pashyannapi na pashyati means, Pashyan means looking. They see, but they don't see. What they see, but they don't see. Ordinary people like us, We see that everyone is leaving the body and going. But we think that I will not go. They will go, but I will not go. They will go, but I will not go. This is called Pashyannapi na Pashyati. But those who are empowered by Krishna, they can see everything is temporary. There was one rishi called Roma Harsha, someone. Uh, not Roma Harsha, Roma, whatever. Roma is there at least. Huh? Lomas Rishi, not Lomas Rishi. Anyway, there was one rishi. Uh, he was called Roma something. I don't remember the last part. He was called Roma Rishi because all his bodily parts are filled with Romas. Everywhere there are hairs on his body. So in one part of the body there were no hairs. There was a little part somewhere, not head anyway. The head anyway goes, all the Romas. Somewhere where it doesn't fall. So there was a small, bay. So what was the blessing? This rishi got a blessing that for each day, each Brahma's life, one hair will fall. That long he will stay. You understand? That long he will stay. So this rishi was approached by some of his disciples. Guru Maharaj, we want to, we want to construct a small cottage for you to live comfortably, because he was living under the tree. So this Guru Maharaj, this rishi told them, life is temporary, Baba. Why are you wanting to construct a cottage for me? समझ गया है ना? Huh? This man lives, for each hair fall, he lives one of the Brahma's life. For each Brahma's life, one hair will fall. That means how long this man is going to live? Millions and trillions of, lifetimes of Brahma. And that man is saying, don't construct because everything is temporary. हम रहते हैं 10 साल, 20 साल, 25 साल. हाँ? उसके लिए एक 100 floor building is required for us. Isn't it? What is our realization? This is called Pashyannapi na Pashyati. You see everything is falling apart, you cannot see it. But this rishi, he is living for such a long time, but he sees it's all temporary. This is called realization. And that realization will come not by your own endeavor, by the mercy of Krishna. So that is why it is said, how will you get that realization? Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yasyashitatpataha tato mam tatvato jnatva vishadetad anantaram. By the mercy of Krishna, by engagement in devotional service, one will get this mercy. Sevonmukohi jivadav swayameva spuradyataha. Krishna will reveal himself. I asked one interesting question to people. You go in front of an ocean and take a small lota with you, empty lota. Can you fit in the ocean water into the empty lota? Can you do that? I am asking you. No? Okay, I will reframe the question. Can the ocean water fit in this lota? You didn't understand the first question and second question. Your first question answer is right. Second question answer is not right. What was the first question? Did you hear carefully what was the first question I asked? Can you fit in the ocean water in this lota? And what is your answer? No. Right answer. Can ocean water fit in this lota? Can ocean water be fit in this lota? Answer yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can ocean water fit in the lota? If I ask strongly, you will say no. If I become little numb, you say yes. It's all convenience. you have to say it in certain words, that whether it is yes or no. Can lota water, can ocean water can be fit in lota? No, by us. Yes, by Krishna. How does Krishna do? Krishna can, you know, Krishna can minimize that water, the whole oceanic water, in this lota, if he wants. That is one way he can do it. The other way, he can expand the lota to such an extent that the whole ocean water can be fit in this. Both ways it is possible for Krishna to do it. But Krishna can do it. You can, no way you can do it. Neither you can contract the water, nor you can expand the lota. Nothing is possible. But for Krishna it is possible. Oh, how are you saying it is possible for Krishna? It is said in the scripture. Samashritaye padapallava plavam mahat padam punya yesho murare bhavambudir vatsa param padam 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 yat vipadam natesham. The oceanic material existence becomes Goshpada. Goshpada means the water contained in a hoof print. That much it becomes by Krishna's mercy. Something which becomes unattainable, unsurpassable. This sagara, samsara sagara is unsurpassable, but that becomes just Goshpada if Krishna so desires. If Krishna so wills and gives us that strength. So, in the same way, if Krishna wills, we can do anything. If Krishna doesn't will, we cannot do anything. So that is why in this verse it is said, Namabhirva Kriya Gunaihi. Don't think that, by my own, I am very educated. Many people come to me and ask me, Prabhu, we are not very educated, so we cannot understand the classes. I say, particularly you will be able to understand better when you are not educated. I say. Because you don't have the filters. These so-called educated fellows, they have these filters. What is the filter? I can understand. I am very intelligent. I can finish off the book. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Robo. Right? Scan the book and get all the information. You may get all the information, but you miss Krishna. You miss actually Krishna. Vedasya sarvai rahameva vedyo vedanta krut veda videva chaha. So this mentality has to be rectified. Without rectifying this mentality, we can never understand Krishna. The pride that we carry is mountainous. That I can understand everything, just about everything, because I'm very intelligent and expert. I can study well and I can understand everything. You cannot understand ABCD of it if Krishna's mercy is not there. So beg for Krishna's mercy. Then even though you are completely underprivileged in every possible way, you will be able to understand Krishna. He will empower you. He can make you understand Him. So that is the significance of this verse. Don't try to, that is why Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta said, don't try to see God, because you can never see God. But act in such a way that God comes and sees you. That is what is devotional service. What devotional service does is, it attracts Krishna's attention. It is called Krishna Karshini. Everybody is attracted by Krishna, but Krishna is attracted by devotional service. So Krishna comes and sees, oh, this is a very wonderful devotee. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami was born in a very rich family. He gave up that richness and he was begging on the steps of the Jagannath Puri temple. After some time, he found that even that is not very satisfying. So what he did, he was collecting the grains which are thrown, because Jagannath Puri 56 items Chapan Bhog is offered, and then sometimes that is not sold. So these people they reject that, and then after 2-3 days, even the cows also don't touch it, because cows also cannot eat it. So that kind of grains he was removing the spoiled portion and collecting little bit. After so much of cleaning, he will get this much. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he was eating that one day in his house. Lord Chaitanya ran to his house, and then he actually, he snatched it from his hand, and he was eating that and saying, "You are having this, feast alone. You are not sharing that feast with me." Is that a feast? Yes, the feast of detachment. That was the feast he was referring to, not to the actual grains. So he was so pleased, he ran to Raghunath Das Goswami. How can someone completely detach himself to such an extent that he will just take this little dried portion of the rejected grains? How is it possible? He must have so much devotion, so much renunciation, so much detachment. Uh, so Lord Chaitanya ran to him. That is what actually happens if we actually apply ourselves properly to devotional service. Krishna will run to us. Like Bilomangal Thakur, he was blinded. He went to Vrindavan, and when he was singing the glories of Krishna, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. That's the last line, by the way. There are many glories are there. Huh? So Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, like that he was singing. So Krishna was every day hearing those songs. So one day, Bilomangal Thakur, he understood that this Krishna was coming every day and he is hearing these songs. So he wanted to embrace Krishna. So, but he cannot see Krishna. So what happened? Krishna, when he came near, he had that sense that Krishna came quite near. He was just about to catch Krishna, and then Krishna escaped from his embrace. Then Bilomangal Thakur said, "You can escape from my embrace, but you cannot escape from my heart, my dear Krishna," he said. "Because I have already bound you in my heart." So Krishna becomes bound. He cannot escape us if we become devotee. He becomes duty bound to actually protect us, save us, serve us. So that is what is mentioned here. Why you are trying to, run after Krishna? Let Krishna run after you. It looks very crazy statement, isn't it? A very bold statement, but it is the truth. Krishna will run after you when you become devotee. And Krishna is asking us to become a devotee. You become a devotee. Maya manmana bhava madbhaktaha. You become my, I want to run after you. Why are you running after me? Dhanam dehi, janam dehi. All this, you are running after me. Don't run after me. I will run after you. But you be my devotee. I will run after you. So, that is the power of bhakti. So, if we actually become a bhakta, Krishna will actually run after us. Krishna will, he will do everything, whatever we want. Because at that time, we will not ask anything but serve Krishna. So, these are some points. Anyone has any question, comment? Yes. Mic is there? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. You said that to understand Krishna, you need Krishna's mercy.
Yes.
But to get Krishna's mercy, you need to come to Krishna.
But to get Krishna's mercy?
But to get Krishna's mercy, you need to come to Krishna.
Oh, yes.
And without Krishna's mercy, even that is not possible to Krishna. So,
Oh,
how
yeah.
do I get the mercy to come to Krishna and beg him for the mercy of
So
Krishna?
that is why Lord Chaitanya gave a simple process. Like a small child who cannot even walk, the child cries, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
As months baby, the child cries. Who runs?
Mother.
Ah, you cry, Krishna will run. Prabhupada said this. I am not making up this. You chant Hare Krishna in such a way that Krishna will come. That's all.
Yeah, but to have that ability to cry also we need Krishna's mercy again, I believe.
Our crying is, cheating crying. That is the problem. We are, this is the crying. How? The child doesn't cry like that, isn't it? The real children cry piteously. They don't know what it is. It's just crying, 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 and then the mother will come.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Any other?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Poor devotees understand the Krishna.
Huh?
Poor devotees understand the Krishna or not?
Pure devotees understand Krishna. Yes, very much. But pure devotees also understand Krishna as much as their service demands. It's not that pure devotee understand Krishna completely also. To the extent that they need to do a particular service, to that extent Krishna gives them understanding. Because an ordinary jiva can never understand Krishna fully. It's not possible. Even if one is pure devotee.
Pure devotees see the Krishna is real.
They can see face to face.
Ah.
Yes. Just like we are seeing each other face to face. Like that they can see Krishna. Yes, they can see Krishna.
How to become a pure devotee?
How to become pure devotee? Chant Hare Krishna. Pure devotees have given a simple process. All the time chant Hare Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dridavratah namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya ukta upasate. You will do upasana to Krishna by Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chant Hare Krishna, whether externally or internally. Externally chant 16 rounds minimum. Don't include that internally also. Some people say, chant Hare Krishna. I am all the time chanting. They'll never chant actually, by the way. The people who never chant reply, all the time chanting. Isn't it? Have you come across such people? Many people I have come across. When I tell them, chant one mala, no, not required. I am all the time chanting inside. If all the time you are chanting, why you will be like this? So we have to chant, our chanting 16 rounds should be properly chanting outside so that we can hear. But inside we can chant Hare Krishna. Anyway, something or the other will be thinking. So instead of that, chant Hare Krishna. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Bathroom singers are there, no? So instead of singing some nuisance song, so you sing Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
So when I was in Bangalore, I was given a dishwashing service. So I was washing my dishes and feeling miserable. अरे कहाँ से कहाँ तक आ गया है तुम, बीटेक किया है, सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बना है, फाइनली तुम डिश वॉश कर रहे हो. So feeling miserable. Then suddenly something dawned upon me. Why am I so miserable in doing Krishna service? Why don't I chant Hare Krishna? Then I started exactly like this, with the same tune. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Completely mood got changed. Completely means completely. I am not exaggerating even a little bit. I remember that moment. It happened in 1997. Completely mood got changed just by doing this one thing. That why am I so fussy about this? Why am I so miserable about this? Let me chant Hare Krishna and do this service. This is Krishna service which is given to me. Completely changed. It's possible to, the holy name has that power to completely change our mood. You become Dukhi to Sukhi. Lord Chaitanya gave one lady one name while she was bringing pots of water from Narendra Sarovar. So he gave her, from today onwards you will be Sukhi. Her name was Dukhi. So he gave her name Sukhi, and then she became Sukhi. Same way Prabhupada made hippies to happies just by making them chant Hare Krishna mantra. Don't underestimate this process. It has such power. So it is possible all the time to be happy. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, in the lecture we heard about that it is very difficult to understand Krishna and not to speak about understanding Krishna fully. Now we see that when new people, when they come to temple or to our programs, uh, generally actually they have no understanding of what Krishna is. So their faith is also very innocent, or they are like completely in ignorance about. And generally their idea of coming to temple is asking for some material benefits, Dhananjanam Sundarim, like that. And as you also told that when you ask them to chant, they say we are already chanting. So in that way, there is no desire in them also to try to understand Krishna. They are mainly coming to Krishna for asking some material benefits, and Krishna is giving them, that is all right, or they may have their own some sentimental emotions like that. So that is one category of people we see. Now when we try to go and preach, in our preaching process, we in the beginning, like a lot of device courses, foundation courses, a lot of philosophy is given. You're not the body, you are soul, and the material world is temporary, and a lot of philosophical aspect is given, like that. So because we are discussing that it's very difficult to understand Krishna, what should be our approach towards uh, also understanding the philosophical aspect, especially given in Prabhupada books, because so much book distribution we do, and we emphasize on reading the books. Both the book distributors should also read, and the people whom we are distributing should also read. Because otherwise, sometimes the understanding comes through like, okay, anyway, it's not possible to understand Krishna, then why to read Prabhupada books? So you can clarify Prabhuji on that. Thank you.
Yeah, got the question. You know, first of all, one has to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Especially in the beginning, it is important for people to experience the bliss, then understand the philosophy. What actually Prabhupada did is actually gave them the bliss of Krishna consciousness through chanting Hare Krishna mantra. When he chanted, the intensity with which he chanted was so attractive that it just drew people. And the other thing that Prabhupada did was that he cooked very beautiful prasad, bhoga, and offered to Krishna. And actually, when they ate that prasadam, they have never eaten something like that in their whole life. So you make people experience the happiness of Krishna consciousness than the understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. After that, they will come to the philosophy. In the beginning, you try to explain philosophy, you are not the body. They will be very, their face will be very ugly. You give them nice prasadam, donna, hot pongal, sweet pongal. Their face will completely be happy. What your 1 hour of lecture could not do, a little bit of prasadam could do it. Little. But that's in the beginning. But for them to continue in Krishna consciousness, later they themselves will come with curiosity about Krishna consciousness. So in the initial, few months or years, depending on each case is different. We can't say there is a standard thing. Make them feel the happiness of Krishna consciousness. Like this morning when I saw two people, new people came for the Mangalarati. And the Tulsi Arati, our devotees are moving this way or that way, this way, that way. They got caught in between, all these people. They don't know what to do. So one devotee pulled their hand. Like this, they went like this and this. So it is called experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So when you experience like that, they will be attracted to Krishna. They want to know more about Krishna and all that. What we want to do? I have to make them jnanis and then become bhaktas later. First let them become bhaktas, they will become jnanis automatically. Small difference. This is a jnani approach. We want to pump in philosophy so that their convictions will become strong. Krishna will take care of it. Don't worry about it. You make them experience the beauty of Krishna consciousness, bliss of Krishna consciousness. They will be attracted. 100% guaranteed. Isn't it? What is the most inspiring thing for you in the beginning of your Krishna consciousness? Tell me honestly. Isn't it prasadam or kirtan or an embrace of a devotee? Isn't it? Tell me honestly. Everybody here. I was a prasadam bhakta. I was a pongal bhakta. It's true. I stood on a line. 3 times I came back to the line. 3 times Donna prasadam. So 4th time the man who was serving recognized, hey, 3 times you came. How many times more? Sorry. Then left. It was hot pongal. Ghee was there. Now itself it is coming out. just, just see. This is how we are. Heart wants to feel. Mind wants to think. First let the heart come to Krishna. Mind will automatically come. Don't try to draw the mind. Heart will not come easily. Hare Krishna. Yes, last. Sorry, it got delayed. Last.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you told like Krishna is attracted with service only. So could you please focus on like how we can serve in our present stage to Krishna?
How can we serve in our present state? When you serve someone, what is the first motivation? What is the first feeling that you get?
Uh,
You want to be happy or you want to make that person happy?
so it's both side and
No, it's
many of
not
the
both.
cases.
If you have to choose one,
So
what is the first one?
the one we are comfortable.
That is not called service. That is the problem with all of us. We thought that service means what makes me happy. So we self-assign services and give a tagline called service. It's not service, it is actually sense gratification. Because who assigned that service to you? Self-assigned. Isn't it? Those days, initial days of Krishna consciousness, we used to serve prasadam. Because in prasadam, you have a lot of opportunity to sideline some prasadam for you. That is why prasadam service is a very, very important service. Prabhu, I will do it. I will do it. Who will wash the pots? Nobody will come. Prasadam service, I am very happy. So this is called self-assigned service. Service means which makes the beloved happy. That is what is service. Service means for whose pleasure you are doing it. I am a lifting kartal. Why am I lifting kartal? For whose pleasure? My pleasure? Krishna's pleasure? Or a devotee who has assigned that service to me? That question should come every time. If that doesn't come, you forcibly ask that question to yourself. For whose pleasure am I doing this? And train your mind in such a way that I must do this for the devotee's pleasure, or for Acharya's pleasure, or for Krishna's pleasure, and definitely not for my pleasure. My pleasure is included in their pleasure. This is called service.
Yes, Prabhuji, understood. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.